Ladies and gentlemen, presenting you yet another fine feature match this day. And over in Stage 2, we have another battle between behemoths. Up in the top corner, bearing the red gloves, it is Darkener with his trademark Blangdmire deck, the Emissary of Zero, hoping to cleave through the battlefield and reduce the chances of his opponent to zero. But we're going to see if that's going to happen, because down in the bottom corner, bearing the blue gloves, is the powerful Vyrgilla deck, now recently vamped up with its power of imagination, and wielding this extraordinary strategy is the one and only Nazk. And with me today, we have my fine co-commentator, Scarlight. How are we doing here, sir?
Hello, and thank you for having me back again. I'm doing great, and this fight is honestly going to be a very interesting one. We have the epitome of aggression versus a very strong control deck. And so
100%, and it seems like Vyrgilla may have a lot of tricks up its sleeve to try and combat the raw power that is the Blangdmire strategy, which honestly does not negotiate with the opponent, it simply returns them to zero. So we're going to see which one is going to take home the gold here. Is it going to be speed, or is it going to be power? Is it going to be the absolute zero, or is it going to be the possibility of infinity? And no, this isn't Levy Dress, but Vyrgilla may be just as powerful there. Now then, fighters, go ahead and say it with me. Stand up. So,
mine. Vanguard.
Vanguard.
The embodiment of my soul, Vyrgilla.
Cabotry Malaria.
All right, looks like Blangdmire gets the first turn here.
this honestly might give Dark the advantage in this game, because going first is very massive.
As always for Blangdmire. Thankfully, very similar to the previous match that we had, Dragon Empire once again forced to go on second this time around, but both of these decks actually have very strong going second comeback turns. The ability of Alpha Knights, which is the new cross-ride form of Vyrgilla, only being live if the opponent is grade 3 or greater, so we're going to see a lot of added aggression from Nabs right off the bat, plus who knows how well he'll be able to take advantage of being able to attack first. Alright, discarding the Moog off the bat in order to ride. This either indicates that his hand is quite awkward or very strong if he's willing to get rid of a very powerful piece like that. Although thankfully he'll be able to recycle it back into Soul at some point, because Blangdmire has become more versatile than ever. Riding into Holoraptor, it looks like.
Holoraptor, new idol. Energy generator sets. Return.
Alright. Draw. Alright. Discard Fanvare. Light. My Vanguard. Rising Star. Vyrgilla. With its skill, I draw a card and add my energy generator. And since I went second, an extra is granted on to me. Nabs. And I swing. AK to the Vanguard.
Guard.
Blangdmire guarding early.
Like critical trigger.
And that was a good decision.
A good call.
That's smart. Very smart.
Nice.
Go ahead.
Draw. Discard.
Ooh, Quen
We see a unique card from Dark. Indeed. This is a very unique choice.
This ability, if there's 7 more cards in the soul, you can give a unit on your rear guard the guard restrict where they can't guard with the grade 1 cards. I think it even includes grade 1 or higher. And that thing is so devastating under a Blangdmire Divine skill turn that happens to be some higher level shield value cards. It's a bit of an interesting choice in this matchup, however. Perhaps he's trying to stop the very hefty grade 2 guards that Vyrgilla has, including Ezerwur and Enwing. Oh, swinging simply for 10.
Guard.
Oh, and a guard right back on the other side. Okay. Neither of these players are going to take damage willy-nilly, it looks like. We might be having a little bit more of the grind game here, folks. Now it's moving back on over to Vyrgilla, who gets to Soul Blast for his ride line.
Right.
Yep.
Soul Blast. Light. My Vanguard. Shooting Star. Vyrgilla.
Interestingly, by opting not to take damage, there's a really high likelihood that Nabs wasn't able to see the signature Stardust Blade, which allows you to counterblast when called top 5. Oh, simply swinging for 10. All right.
Think it to the bed.
I'll go to.
Drive check. Toon Buckler.
No triggers.
Right. No trigger there.
Damage check. And trigger.
I am at turn.
A very mild game thus far. As the first player gets to ride to grade 3, we're already only looking at 1 damage to no damage. Now let's see what happens when Dark rides to his ace unit.
That could make a very bad joke, but I'm not.
Do it.
Discord.
Nah.
For the universe, there's nothing for Idol.
I'll make it for you. It's in his soul already.
Blangdmire.
Yeah, you got it. And here comes the Blangdmire, and with Vacant Fang, that is a hit. 2 out of the 3 were able to go into the soul. That heal trigger gets shuffled back, and Dark is able to get 1 draw off of that.
I see. Great heavens. That's smart.
Give me a minute, my opponent. Okay.
No worries. My opponent.
Okay. I have returned from the abyss, known as untapped bad programming. Let's continue.
All right, Blangdmire getting its extra draw, 6 cards in hand. What'll he call?
Ooh, this new grade 2. Interesting.
All.
Okay, calling down. Now, this is a fascinating card right here. So, with the skill of Vartek has a variety of different continuous skills, and we saw this before during the previous feature match where Blangdmire took down Vaserug. Vartek has the ability to get boost. It can't be chosen by the opponent's card effects, and it gets power and shield. It seems like this was a preparatory move to try and get around Vyrgilla's bind control skill, which at first glance people may say that Nexus would be able to get around that, but Nexus can only call from the face down binds. The face up binds of Vyrgilla are about the worst possibility that Dark could be fighting with control-wise. Alright, and now we're going to be having a Netherwolf Butcher here. There's nothing to stop intercepts on, but it'll still be a nice booster here.
It is also a free soul charge from the drop zone, so it is not bad of a card at all.
Oh, he's keeping as light as he possibly can. Simply swinging Blangdmire.
Skill Butcher, Verzamig into the soul, and then skill Blangdmire. Find 4 cards face down.
Yeah, this was his plan from the start.
Faded 1 is 0. Playing as conservatively as possible, but very wise moves on Dark's part here. He doesn't want to overcommit against a very aggressive deck like Vyrgilla. Okay, now this is going to be coming in hot at Nabs for 31 total with the Twin Drive.
No guard.
Drive check. First check. Trigger.
Oh, front trigger. Oh, fascinating. With the other front trigger there as well, are we seeing multiple kinds of fronts in Darkener's deck?
It seems like it. This is the soul front, which once it retires from Guardians, it immediately...
Oh,
he gets the Galmelga health!
Holy crap!
That is
a
massive.
time to see that.
Galmelga health, giving 10,000 power and +1 critical permanently to Blangdmire.
Oh,
Move it. Draw.
a devastating double damage right there.
No trigger.
That is brutal.
Second check. No trigger.
Okay.
Blanks for Nabs.
No guard.
Okay, yeah, no guard.
Damage
Okay.
check. No trigger.
Begins the battle, plus the skill, it goes in the soul. Inside of Blangdmire Vanguard, finds itself face down, and I draw a card.
Yeah. Blangdmire coming in hot with some good old high roll to try and bring the match back in its favor.
That OT was insane.
Mm-hmm. But now
Extend
Vyrgilla has a lot of
and draw.
damage to work with. Let's see what he can do with it.
I discard
Yeah.
Flare Cosmor and ride my Vanguard. These brilliant white wings shall lead me to the future I desire. Rewrite the star, Vyrgilla! The skill
And here it comes.
of Shooting Star of Vyrgilla. Searching my deck for any grade 2 I desire. And that shall be Variance Ray Dragon.
Variance Ray Dragon, fascinating choice here. Now with skill Variance Ray Dragon, not only does it get an extra bit of shield as a card, but it also has a skill in the drop zone, which allows it to give your air wizard on the field an extra 5,000 power and shield, and it can't be chosen by effects. Seems both of these players are trying to play around the bind control aspects of the opponent.
Very fair,
I don't have
honestly.
any grade 2s and drop to call. I will energy blast 3 in order to bind this card. Face up.
Very well.
All right, and that's another
Netherworld
bind
Pusher is
going
the only
against
legal
Blangdmire.
targets.
Furthermore, I rewrite my Vanguard. The brilliant white wings of the future shall rewrite itself. It's the form of the King of Knights, Vyrgilla. Afrenaister.
Ah, here comes Vrygilla coming in hot with his very powerful array of skills. First off, upon riding through this unique method, Vrygilla is able to add one finishing move of Nev's choice along with calling a Galaxian card, which includes the Air Wizard he just superior called. And if that does enough, looks like he's going to be going for Stardust Blade to build back board and give more power over to Vrygilla. Oh, but there's a trick in there. Remember the Flare Cosmor he discarded earlier? With its skill, now that he called an Air Wizard by the Vanguard's ability, he'll be able to superior call back his faithful pal.
Furthermore, by Counter Blasting 1, I played the finishing move, Stardust Blade! Checking the top 5 cards of my deck. To call a unit from among them.
Oh, what a decision here.
This is a choice, because right now Dark is only sitting at 1, so he is very much in the lead.
I choose to call none. However, the skill isn't wasted, since my Vanguard still gets 3,000 for each normal units on my Rigard Circle and in my drop.
Calling nothing.
He must have
That
saw
is-
nothing but triggers and PGs from there, I would imagine.
Possibly, yeah. That is a little unfortunate.
I call Variance Ray. With its skill, Ezerwur becomes untouchable, giving him 5,000 power and 5,000 shield. Then I call Nilmeen. Skill of Nilmeen. By Counter Blasting 1, I get to check the top 7 cards of my deck for a grade 3.
Furthermore, Nilmeen has a continuous skill life now. As long as the opponent's rear guard was retired or bound, he'll get 5,000 power, and the bind has made it alive. Adding another Vrygilla there, this is going to be pretty crucial for Nazk, because if he can survive through Blangdmire's upcoming turn, he'll be able to rewrite his Vanguard and supersede the Hex of Zero.
Alright, let's do it.
Indeed.
15 to the Vanguard.
Guard. In that battle,
He's
if there's oh,
using the Soul Thorns early on just to build up the soul again.
28.
my guard.
No guarding that one. PG in the damage zone. Definitely something Nabs wants to see from his opponent.
Go! Half Knights! With its skill. By Counter Blasting 1, get an extra drive, and my front row restands. Flare Cosmos effect, when Ezerwur restands, he restands again.
All rear guards up and standing. Here comes the 5-attack turn that Vyrgilla's become known for, baby.
25, triple drive. Live on your
Vanguard.
Vanguard. First, critical trigger. Power to Nilmeen, critical to Off Knights. Second check. Third check. Stardust Blade.
Ooh, Stardust Blade. This finishing move has very fascinating implications in this deck strategy because when going against Blangdmire naturally binds its own cards. So thanks to the skill of Stardust Blade, which checks to see if he has more binds, he absolutely will. All right, front trigger going to give power over to Blangdmire, but thankfully the power up from the critical trigger means Nilmeen will still be able to swing. Unless he heals and healing specifically when both are at 3. Dark's trigger luck is absolutely crushing this game.
That's unfortunate. None of my rears can hit anymore.
Oh dear. Nazk's going to have to shake this one off.
I end my turn. This goes to soul. And from my soul, and from my bind, I rewrite back Vyrgilla as rest. Ending my turn.
The plus side to this entire turn is Nav's managed to fill his hand back up with a good bit of pieces to guard with to survive. So he's still got a chance.
Right. It's all going to come down to how devastating this upcoming turn is going to be. There's absolutely no reason why Dark is going to not wait for this divine skill with this situation right now. 3 damage, he's got to go in for the kill.
Zelda, Blangdmire Nexus.
Blangdmire Nexus coming down for Cross Persona Ride, being able to draw a card and give 10,000 power to the front row. This is the big point. Unfortunately as well, the 2 rear guards that aren't protected by Variance Ray are going to have to go away no matter what, and that's particularly sad for Cosmor because his revival skill is not going to be live in the bind zone.
Yep, that is kind of big.
Oh,
I'm gonna clip that, by the way.
Another Vartech hit the field. And an Alchemist.
oh. Zamu, skill activate. Help you card.
Ooh, he sees good targets there. That means
That
he'll be able
is
to get an
a-
additional draw.
That is an Evoke Alchemist and an Elaborate Wizard.
Okay, this is the crucial moment here. Blangdmire Nexus' skill allows him the ability to potentially call from the face-down bind zone. If he does opt for that, though, he will have some abilities live, but not all abilities live. There's currently 4 face-downs. So if he's able to get another 4 face-downs, he would be in range to get 20,000 power, but he would be out of the range for Blangdmire's skill, which is an on-attack. That's the one difficulty.
The other
option to activate the skill to prevent your intercepts until the turn.
Shutting down that Airwiser. So that is a
However,
20k interceptor lost.
However, since it is a on play and is until the end of this turn, it will not be staying, as I will then call I will call over it with a Vadrock.
Alright, Vadrock being the big beater to this deck, which really skyrockets its offensive potential. Now it has a soul charge attached to it, and the potential to call back a card, although with such a strat formation like this, I find it hard to believe the soul charge would be a call. Because it's that! Holy crap! Oh man, Blangdmire is eating good today. Every possible trigger and draw I can get, it's getting it, baby. This is looking bad for Vyrgilla.
That is a big draw.
Okay, and that gives even more bind zone. Now there could be a total of, it looks like Dark has managed to put into the ride zone instead to distinct between the face up and the face down bind. A very smart play there because it'll make counting easier. So now he'll be able to get to 10 face down bind for plus 25,000 power to Blangdmire Nexus.
Skill of Nexus. Binding 4 cards face down.
Alright, and now 2 have to go away, and with the third one not being a valid intercept at this point, oh dear.
Blangdmire gains 25,000 power. My front Vyrgilla gain 5k because I have a Blangdmire into this game.
You have another 10k for Blangdmire. Due to the overtrigger.
Yeah,
Oh.
Galmelga held was checked,
Another
so
10k
All right.
because of the manga held. Attack with the Zamug skill. Gains 5,000 power and a critic.
All right. A
Pretty hard.
20k shield right away.
Twin Buckler.
And using the PGs, well, he has a chance. A smart move there.
that is true.
Boost. Blangdmire Nexus attacks. Skill of Evoke Alchemist. And Zamug with 15,000. May the stars disappear. Divine skill will activate.
Divine skill has been triggered. Now there will be no more perfect guards, and Vrygilla loses all of its skills. How is Naps going to be able to counteract this? After all, getting a total cumulative boost of plus 60,000 power and 3 critical puts Blangdmire Nexus at 73,000 power, twin drive, and 3 damage minimum.
How much is that?
73,000. Good crit.
73. If that's the case,
Mm-hmm.
I guard with the overtrigger. 63. Then I will guard with Pure Flare. With skill gets a 15k shield because you have an unnetty crit. So this is 25, 50. It is 85. It's 93. It's 98. No, that's way too much. So 25.
He's at
50,
88,000 power
88.
total. That's 2
4,
to pass.
2 to
that
pass.
might do it.
You want to leave it there?
Yep.
Right.
First.
Twin drive.
PG. Second check. Heal trigger. I get
Oh
1 damage.
no! Another heal trigger! Oh man, we are dealing with about
is
as big a
crazy.
high roll as possible from Blangdmire. Every time Nabs tries to come back, Dark just hits another trigger to beat it down.
That is
Power with
rough.
Zamug.
It's
And
unfortunate.
Zamu keeps getting bigger.
Alright, the one bright side is that no
Attacking
criticals were
Vaygr.
checked during this, so he can definitely afford to take one of these attacks at least.
How much is Zamug?
Zamug is going to be 40, 55, 65. 2 crit once skill goes off.
And Vaydrock is gonna be?
Vaydrock is 45, 50, 60,
60. Zamug is 65, you said?
70. After skill.
70.
Oh, absolutely massive attacks. This is looking bad for Nabs
This is-
here.
No guard,
This is
damage
what
check.
Okay, nothing
No
there.
triggers.
Boost. Zamug skill. Okay, no.
Alright. Now let's see. Can Nabs block this attack?
That's 70, right?
And he's
Yes.
After no guard.
70k, 2 crit.
He has to no guard
First-
this. Uh-oh.
has to take.
Now it's time to
Oh.
check the
Could
damages.
be over.
Oh,
That's not a
no
trigger.
trigger there. The second?
Second. Ah, GG.
Oh no!
Oh.
And a
That
and
was
a crushing defeat for Vrygilla, unfortunately. I'm not gonna lie to you there, Scarlight. That one definitely came down less to the decks and more to the triggers, but sometimes it happens that way in the game
Yeah.
of Vanguard. What did you think about this game,
Really?
Scarlight?
Really, I think that overtrigger kind of just cemented that game because that extra crit from Blangdmire kind of gave Nabs a lot of trouble. Plus, the original 100 mil also gave him too much trouble too because he had to lose a lot of cards just to stop that first turn.
Mhm.
That was brutal.
And it also seemed like no matter what Nabs could do, there was always a counter for it. Every heal for every damage. Being able to get the Intercept Denier to stop Air Reserve, which was a powerful 20k shield, that might have been able to help in this scenario. If that wasn't enough, there was also that over trigger, and then being able to see the persona riding, get the optimal field setup, and denying the control thanks to the skill of the Voltec. It just seemed like this was one of the more one-sided ones in this match, but well done to both fighters regardless. And to those of you who enjoyed this matchup, definitely consider subscribing and trying the notification bell, because we've got more deluxe matchups like these along the way, so you don't want to miss out. And if you're looking for the Vanguard content in the meantime, then definitely check out my other videos. We've got top 10s, discussions, fight nights, anime reactions, the whole shebang, so check it out. And with that said, take care and God bless.
See you next
Goodbye.
time. Bye.